Good morning, students. This is class 11th, subject chemistry, chapter 5, states of matter, and lecture number 3. These are the topics of today's lecture. We will discuss about liquid state, then vapor pressure of liquid state, viscosity, surface tension, and homework discussion of lecture number 2. So first we will talk about liquid state. So these are the characteristics of liquid state. So first point is that in liquid state, intermolecular forces are strong in comparison to gaseous state. So in solid state, the intermolecular forces are strongest, after that liquid, and in the end, gaseous state has a minimum intermolecular force of attraction. Next point is they have definite volume but irregular shapes, or we can say that they can take the shape of the container. Third point is molecules of liquids are held together by attractive intermolecular forces. Now as we are discussing about liquid state, so here we will talk about vapor pressure. What is vapor pressure? So here we will understand vapor pressure with the help of one activity. Suppose there is a container, okay, so this is a container in figure number 1 in which a liquid is present, right? Now if you will heat this liquid, then what will happen? The molecules which are in liquid state, they will convert into vapor state, right? And as you will heat it more, then what will happen? More and more vapors they will be formed here. So these vapors will exert pressure, right? So the pressure which is exerted by the vapors is known as vapor pressure. In third figure, you can see that when these vapors strike the surface of liquid, then vapors converts back into liquid state. So here liquid molecules are converting into vapor state, as well as vapor are also converting into liquid state. So both the process are in equilibrium. So here we will define vapor pressure. The pressure exerted by the vapor of a liquid at a particular temperature in a state of dynamic equilibrium is called vapor pressure of that liquid at that temperature. Here we are using this term dynamic equilibrium because vapors are converting into liquid state as well as liquids are converting into vapor state. So there is an equilibrium between these two. Okay. And both the process are happening with the same rate, with the same speed. That is why there is equilibrium. Now, vapor pressure depends upon two factors. First one is nature of liquid and second one is temperature. So note down these 2 points. How nature of liquid affect the vapor pressure. If intermolecular force of attraction between molecule is strong, then what will happen? Less number of molecules will convert into vapor state. If less vapors are formed, that means less pressure will be there. So it depends on the intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules. If intermolecular force of attraction is weak, that means it is easy to break the bond. And if bond will break, that means more and more molecules will convert into vapor state. And if vapors are more, that means there will be more pressure. So nature of the liquid affects the vapor pressure. Now next one is temperature. If temperature is more, that means liquid state can easily convert into vapor state, right? So it is directly proportional to the temperature. Vapor pressure is directly proportional to temperature. If temperature is more, that means liquid can convert into vapor state, and more vapors means more vapor pressure. Now this is the graph between vapor pressure and temperature. So as you can see here that as temperature increases, vapor pressure also increases. Now different solvents have different vapor pressure. This is diethyl ether, this is carbon tetrachloride, ethyl alcohol and water. So here you can see that water has highest boiling point among these. Okay. So different solvent has different boiling point. Now here we are using this term boiling point. How you can define boiling point? What is boiling point? Boiling point when vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure at constant temperature. Here this is a liquid, and when liquid molecules convert into vapor state, then vapors will exert pressure in upward direction, right? And atmospheric pressure is in downward direction. So when pressure exerted by vapors is equal to the atmospheric pressure, only then the liquid will boil, and this is known as boiling point. So I am repeating it again. When vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure at constant temperature is known as boiling point of that liquid. You know that all liquids do not flow with the same speed. There are some liquids like water, ether flow rapidly, and some other liquids like glycerine, honey flow quite slowly. So it indicates that every liquid has some internal resistance to flow. So here we can define viscosity. The internal resistance to flow possessed by a liquid is called viscosity. The liquid which flows slowly, they will have internal resistance high. If internal resistance is high, that means there is strong intermolecular force of attraction. Okay, so we will say the liquid is more viscous in nature. On the other hand, the liquid which flow rapidly, they have low internal resistance, which is due to weak intermolecular forces. So we will say the liquid is less viscous. Now we will understand effect of temperature on viscosity. So viscosity of liquids decreases as the temperature rises. Why? Because at high temperature, molecules have high kinetic energy and they can overcome the intermolecular forces to slip past one another. Now next property is surface tension. We will understand surface tension with the help of this diagram. This is a container. In this container, a liquid is present and there are many molecules in it, right? So now this molecule is attracted by other molecules in all the direction. So net force acting on the molecule is zero because this molecule is attracted by other molecules from this side as well as from this side, from upward direction as well as from the downward direction. So net force is zero. But the molecules which are present on the surface, they are attracted by other molecule from this side, and from the downward direction. So there is no molecule in the upward direction. So the molecules which lie on the surface, they will experience a net downward force of attraction. So now this inward pull on all the molecules lying on the surface behaves like it were under some tension, like a stretched membrane. So due to this property of liquid, it experiences a net inward attraction. That is why this property is known as surface tension. So here we can define surface tension. It is defined as the force acting per unit length perpendicular to the line drawn on the surface of liquid. And SI unit of surface tension is Newton per meter. Now there is a question, why raindrops are spherical in shape? When surface area is minimum, then energy of a liquid state is lowest. So surface tension tries to decrease the surface area of the liquid. So to decrease the surface area of the liquid, surface tension will act in inward direction, right? And it will give it a spherical shape because spherical shape has minimum area. Minimum area means minimum surface area means minimum energy. And minimum energy means maximum stability. So the drops of the liquid are spherical because a sphere has minimum surface area. That is why raindrops are spherical. So that's all for today, students. Now your homework is that you have to do NCERT exercise question number 16 to 21 and question number 23. Now we will discuss questions which were given in lecture number 2. Question number 6 is, the drain cleaner Drain-X contains small bits of aluminium which reacts with caustic soda to produce dihydrogen. What volume of dihydrogen at 20 degrees Celsius and 1 bar will be released when 0.15 gram of aluminium reacts? First of all, you have to write chemical equation to solve this question. So aluminium react with caustic soda, right? So here you will write equation that aluminium plus caustic soda in the presence of water will give NaAlO2 plus hydrogen gas. Now you will balance this equation. Now this is 2 moles of aluminium. So when you will convert 2 moles of aluminium in gram, then 2 into atomic mass of aluminium, which is equal to 27, it is equal to 54 gram. So 2 moles of aluminium is equal to 54 gram. Now at normal temperature pressure, the volume of hydrogen gas is 22400 ml. So for 3 moles of dihydrogen gas, it will be 3 into 22400 ml. Okay, so 54 gram of aluminium at normal temperature pressure release 3 into 22400 ml hydrogen gas. So from the chemical equation, we can say that 54 gram of aluminium gives 3 into 22400 ml hydrogen gas. So now you will use unitary method. For 1 gram, it will be 3 into 22400 divided by 54. And we have to find out for 0.15 gram. So for 0.15 gram of aluminium, it will be 3 into 22400 into 0.15 divided by 54. When you will solve it, it will comes equal to 186.7 ml. So this is the volume of hydrogen gas at normal temperature pressure. Now we will write all the values of volume, pressure and temperature. So at normal temperature pressure, volume of dihydrogen gas is 186.7 ml, which we have just calculated. Pressure is 1.013 bar. So you should know that at NTP, pressure is 1.013 bar. And temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. So we will convert degree Celsius into Kelvin. So at 273, it will comes equal to 273 Kelvin. So these are the conditions of normal temperature pressure. Now the conditions which are given in the question. So volume we have to find out, and pressure is given, that is 1 bar. Okay, and temperature is also given 20 degrees Celsius. So convert it into Kelvin plus 273, it is equal to 293 Kelvin. Now you know V1, P1, T1, P2, T2. Only V2 is unknown. So here we will use a gas equation. Formula is P1 V1 divided by T1 is equal to P2 V2 divided by T2. Put all the values and from here you can find out value of V2. Answer is 203 ml. Question number 7 is, what will be the pressure exerted by a mixture of 3.2 gram of methane and 4.4 gram of carbon dioxide contained in a 9 decimeter cube flask at 27 degrees Celsius? So here temperature is given, volume is given, and here mass of gas is given. But there are two gases. So first you will write down formula. P is equal to N by V RT. This formula came from PV is equal to nRT. Okay, if you will shift V in the denominator, then this will become the formula. Now, N is number of moles. So here we can write given mass divided by molecular mass, right? So here we will put the values. For methane gas, if we want to find out pressure, then here mass is 3.2, which is given 3.2 gram, and molecular mass is 16. Here we will put the value of R and T. Temperature is given 27 degrees Celsius. Okay, so convert it into Kelvin and volume is 9 decimeter cube. Now, gas constant has different values depending on the units of pressure, volume. So here, unit of pressure is atmosphere, right? And volume is decimeter cube. So here you will use value of R 0.0821. Okay. In the same way, you will find out pressure for carbon dioxide. So given mass of carbon dioxide is 4.4 gram, okay, divided by molecular mass, which is 44, into R T divided by V. It is equal to 0.27 atmosphere. So total pressure will be pressure of methane plus pressure of carbon dioxide. It is equal to 0.82 atmosphere. As I have told you that gas constant has different values depending on the unit of pressure and volume. So if we take SI units, then value of R is 8.314. Here pressure is in Pascal and volume is in meter cube. So to get the answer in Pascal, you have to convert these pressure into Pascal. Okay. So here 0.55 atmosphere will become equal to 5.543 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal, and 0.27 atmosphere will becomes equal to 2.771 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal. Now you have to add these two and it will be 8.314 into 10 to the power 4 Pascal. Okay, both the answers are correct. There is just difference of unit. Question number 8 is, what will be the pressure of the gas mixture when 0.5 liter of hydrogen at 0.8 bar and 2.0 liter of dioxygen at 0.7 bar are introduced in 1 liter vessel at 27 degrees Celsius. This is 1 liter, corrected? This is 1 liter. Okay, so there are two gases. One is hydrogen, another one is dioxygen. And they are mixed into another vessel whose volume is 1 liter. So here we will apply this formula. P1V1 is equal to P2V2. First for hydrogen gas and then for dioxygen gas. So for hydrogen gas, value of P1 is 0.8 bar and value of V1 is 0.5 liter. So here you will put the value of P1 and V1. Now value of V2 is 1 liter and value of P2 is unknown. Okay, so only one value is unknown. So we can find out value of P2. So pressure of dihydrogen gas, this is pressure of dihydrogen gas. Okay, so this H2 should be small. Pressure of dihydrogen gas is equal to 0.40 bar. When you will do the calculation, it will comes equal to 0.40 bar. This is for dihydrogen. In the same way, you can find out for dioxygen. For dioxygen, P1 dash V1 is equal to P2 dash V2 dash. So here 2 liter of dioxygen, that means V1 is 2 liter and P1 is 0.7 bar. Okay, so here we will put the values. Now the new vessel is of 1 liter volume. So here V2 is 1 liter and P2 dash is unknown. So here we will find out value of P2 dash, that means pressure of dioxygen. It is equal to 1.4 bar. Now you know pressure of dihydrogen gas, pressure of dioxygen gas. Now you will add these two. It will comes equal to 1.8 bar. Question number 9. Density of a gas is found to be 5.46 gram per decimeter cube at 27 degrees Celsius and at 2 bar pressure. What will be its density at standard temperature pressure? So you should know at standard temperature pressure, temperature is 0 degrees Celsius and pressure is 1 bar. It is fixed. Okay. So here formula of density is, it is equal to molecular mass into pressure divided by gas constant into temperature. So at the given conditions, we will find out value of density. So here we will write down D1 is equal to MP1 divided by RT1. Here value of M and R is same for both the conditions because there is same gas. So you will make first equation D1 is equal to MP1 divided by RT1. Now you will make second equation D2 is equal to MP2 divided by RT2, which is at standard temperature pressure. So at standard temperature pressure, value of D2 is unknown, that we have to find out. Temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, which is fixed, that you should know. You will convert 0 degrees Celsius into Kelvin by adding 273. So it is 273 Kelvin. And value of pressure is also fixed. For standard temperature pressure, it is equal to 1 bar. Now the given conditions of temperature pressure is T1 is equal to 27 degrees Celsius. So that is T1. So in Kelvin it is 300 and pressure is 2 bar, which is given in the question. Density is also given in the question. D1 is equal to 5.46. Now here we had two equations. So here divide D1 by D2. As M and R are same for both the equations, so they will cancel out and it will becomes equal to P1 divided by T1 into T2 divided by P2. Now put all the values here in this equation. When you will put the values, then value of D2 will comes equal to 3 gram per decimeter cube. Question number 10. 34.05 ml of phosphorus vapor weigh 0.0625 gram at 546 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. What is the molar mass of phosphorus? First of all, we will find out value of V2 using this equation at 0 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure. That means standard condition. Okay, so when we will use standard condition, then we will take P2 1 bar, temperature 273 Kelvin, and V2 is unknown. And here P1 is 1 bar, which is given in the question. V1 is 34.05, which is given in the question, and temperature is 546 degrees Celsius. So we will convert it into Kelvin. So here only one value is unknown, that is V2. So here we will find out volume of phosphorus. So volume of phosphorus is 11.35 ml. Now 11.35 ml weighs 0.0625 gram. Okay. So here we will write 11.35 ml of vapor at 0 degrees Celsius and 1 bar pressure weigh 0.0625 gram. So 22700 ml of vapors at standard conditions of temperature and pressure will weigh 0.0625 divided by 11.35 into 22700. It is equal to 125 grams. So at standard condition, the mass of phosphorus is 125 gram. So that is the molar mass of phosphorus. Okay. There is also a second method by which you can solve this question using the equation PV is equal to nRT. Okay. So here N is number of moles. So you will find out value of number of moles. Okay. So it will be PV by RT. So here you will put the value of pressure, volume. Volume is 34.05. We will convert the unit ml into decimeter cube because we are taking value of gas constant 0.083 bar decimeter cube, right? So for that we will convert the unit of volume. Put the value of R and then temperature. Here we can find out value of N, which is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole. Now formula to find out number of moles is given mass divided by molecular mass. But we have to find out molecular mass. So molecular mass is equal to given mass divided by number of moles. So number of moles 5 into 10 to the power minus 4. Put the values, it is equal to 125. Both the methods are correct. You can do this question from anyone. Now question number 11. A student forgot to add the reaction mixture to the round bottom flask at 27 degrees Celsius, but instead he or she placed the flask on the flame. After a lapse of time, he realized his mistake and using a pyrometer, he found the temperature of the flask was 477 degrees Celsius. What fraction of air would have been expelled out? Now we will assume that volume of vessel is V centimeter cube. So that means the volume of air which is in vessel at 27 degrees Celsius is also equal to V centimeter cube. Now we will use a relation of V and T using Charles law. So this is the equation V1 divided by T1 is equal to V2 divided by T2. This temperature is 300 Kelvin and this temperature is 750 Kelvin. So here we will put the values and here we will find out relation between V and V2. So here V2 is equal to 2.5 of initial volume. Now volume expelled will be 2.5 volume. That means the volume which is at 750 Kelvin minus the volume at 27 degrees Celsius. It is equal to 1.5 volume. Okay. But we have to find out fraction of air expelled. So here we will divide 1.5 volume with the volume which was at 750 Kelvin. Okay. So 1.5 volume is divided by 2.5. Okay, it will comes equal to 3 by 5. Question number 12 is calculate the temperature of 4 moles of gas occupying 5 decimeter cube at 3.32 bar. Value of R is given. So here we will use the formula PV is equal to nRT. All the values are given, only temperature is unknown. So here we will put the values and it is equal to 50 Kelvin. Question number 13. Calculate the total number of electrons present in 1.4 gram of dinitrogen gas. So molecular mass of dinitrogen is 28 gram. So 28 gram of nitrogen has number of molecules is equal to Avogadro's number, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So we will use here unitary method. 1 gram of nitrogen has number of molecules 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 28. And we have to find out for 1.4 gram. So 1.4 gram of nitrogen has number of molecules 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 28 into 1.4. So it is equal to 3.011 into 10 to the power 22 molecules. Now atomic number of nitrogen is equal to 7. That means in one atom of nitrogen 7 electrons are present. So in 2 atoms of nitrogen, 7 into 2 is equal to 14 electrons are present because molecules of nitrogen has 2 atoms. So in one molecule of nitrogen has 14 electrons and we have total number of molecules this much, right? So now what we will do, we will multiply these two, okay, molecules with number of electrons in one molecule. So 14 into 3.011 into 10 to the power 22, it will comes equal to 4.215 into 10 to the power 23 electrons. Question number 15. Calculate the total pressure in a mixture of 8 gram of oxygen and 4 gram of hydrogen confined in a vessel of 1 decimeter cube at 27 degrees Celsius. Value of R is given. So here mass of the gas is given, so we will find out number of moles. Okay, so molar mass of dioxygen is 32. So here you can find out number of moles. Given mass 8 gram divided by molar mass 32. It is equal to 0.25 mole. In the same way you can find out number of moles for hydrogen gas. In the same way given mass divided by molar mass. So given mass is 4 and molar mass is 2. It is equal to 2 moles. Now we will use a formula PV is equal to nRT. Now number of moles of oxygen and hydrogen. So you will add these two. Okay. 2 plus 0.25 which is equal to 2.25. So total number of moles 2.25. So here you will put the value. Value of R is given. Temperature is also given 27 degrees Celsius. So in Kelvin it is equal to 300 and volume is 1 decimeter cube. It is equal to 56.025 bar. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you and have a nice day.